Commander ZYX Thor's three eyes widened in collective horror as he watched the human specimen approach the edge of the crystalline death pool. The observation deck of the Celestial Survey Station hummed with the nervous energy of 17 different species, all gathered to witness what they assumed would be a tragedy. "Stop them," chirped Physician Klee, her feathers bristling with distress. "The sodium chloride concentration in that water is 3.5%. It will corrode their flesh within moments." The humans called it an ocean, but to every civilized species in the Galactic Council, it was nothing short of a chemical weapon. Water itself was rare enough, only 43 known planets possessed it in liquid form. But water saturated with salt? That was the stuff of planetary defense systems and industrial solvents. Lieutenant Marcus Chen stood at the beach's edge, his toes curling in the warm sand. Behind him, his crewmate Sarah Rodriguez was already wading into the surf, laughing as the waves crashed against her legs. The entire landing party of 12 humans seemed utterly unconcerned about their imminent dissolution. "Initiate emergency extraction," ZYX Thor commanded, his tentacles flying across the control panel. "We cannot allow the death of an entire diplomatic envoy on our watch." But before the teleportation sequence could engage, something impossible happened. The humans dove beneath the surface. The observation deck erupted in pandemonium. The Krell ambassador fainted, his exoskeleton clattering against the floor. The Voltarian representative began reciting last rites in 17 harmonic frequencies. Even the stoic granite lords of Petra Prime shifted uncomfortably, their crystalline bodies refracting the emergency lights in anxious patterns. They're swimming," whispered Dr. Venn, the station's xenobiologist. His voice carried a mixture of disbelief and scientific fascination. "By the ancient stars, they're actually swimming in it." Marcus surfaced, saltwater streaming from his hair, a broad grin on his face. He called out to his companions, "Water's perfect. Maybe a bit warmer than the Pacific, but feels amazing." Sarah performed what humans called a backflip off a wave, her body arcing through the air before plunging back into the lethal brine. The humans were not just surviving, they were enjoying themselves. ZYX Thor's color shifted from the purple of command to the pale blue of confusion. "Scan them again. There must be some kind of protective field. Some technology we're not detecting." The medical scanner swept over the humans 3 times. Each reading came back identical: no force fields, no protective coatings, no environmental suits. Just bare skin, directly exposed to the corrosive saltwater. "Commander," Dr. Venn's voice trembled with excitement, "I'm reading something extraordinary. Their skin, it's not being damaged. In fact, the salt concentration seems to be balancing with their own internal fluids. They're osmotically compatible with it." "Impossible," Physician Klee protested. "No organism can tolerate such extreme chemical exposure without specialized adaptations. The osmotic pressure alone should rupture their cells." But the monitors didn't lie. The humans spent the next 2 hours playing in what should have been certain death. They splashed each other, floated on their backs, and dove repeatedly beneath the waves. One human, a young male named Tommy, even drank some of the water by accident and simply spat it out with a disgusted expression, muttering something about it being gross but nothing more. As the binary suns began their descent toward the horizon, painting the deadly ocean in shades of orange and purple, the humans finally emerged. Their skin was slightly wrinkled from prolonged exposure, what they casually referred to as pruny fingers, but otherwise undamaged. Captain Elena Vasquez, the human expedition leader, noticed the hovering observation drones and waved cheerfully. "Sorry we took so long. We haven't seen a real ocean in 3 years. Nothing beats a good swim after months in cryosleep." Back on the station, ZYX Thor slumped in his command chair, trying to process what he'd witnessed. In his 2 centuries of service, he'd cataloged thousands of species from across the galaxy. He'd seen silicon-based lifeforms that breathed methane, plasma entities that lived in stellar cores, and void dwellers that existed in the vacuum of space. But never had he encountered a species that could voluntarily immerse themselves in industrial solvent for recreation. Dr. Venn was frantically taking notes. "This changes everything we know about Earth. We classified it as a death world, Category 7. Extreme chemical hazards, dangerous megafauna, unpredictable weather systems. But if humans evolved in direct contact with saltwater, then they didn't just survive their planet's hostility, Physician Clee finished, her scientific mind overcoming her initial horror. They thrived because of it. Their bodies are designed for an environment that would kill most of us within minutes. The observation of humans on what the Galactic Council had designated as the most inhospitable pleasure planet in known space continued for 3 days. The humans surfed, snorkeled, built sand sculptures, and collected shells. Children ran laughing through the toxic spray. Elderly humans waded peacefully through the shallows. By the end of the week, the incident report filed with the Galactic Council ran to 300 pages. The conclusion was unanimous: humans were to be reclassified as a Class XII adaptive species, capable of thriving in environments previously thought uninhabitable. But perhaps more importantly, a new warning was added to the human species profile: do not attempt to protect humans from hazards they find relaxing. Their definition of leisure activities may include exposure to substances lethal to other species. As the human ship prepared to depart, Captain Vasquez sent a message to the station: "Thanks for the beach recommendation. We'll definitely be back." For stars would have been 5, but you guys really need to work on your sunscreen technology. Several of us got burned. Commander ZYX Thor stared at the message for a long moment, then quietly updated the human file with a single note: unkillable. Proceed with caution and considerable respect.